So you want to buy a new Apple Watch. Should you get the new SE3, the Series 11, or the Apple Watch Ultra 3? Well, in this video, I'm going to cover all of the differences to make this easy. And getting right into it, I will say instead of buying a discounted older Apple Watch like I recommended previous years, this year you should buy one of these. That is because this year the upgrades are so substantial that I think you would be wasting your money by saving a little bit of money. Now, this right here is the SE3, and getting into prices, we have a wide range. The SE3 starts at $249, which is definitely cheaper. But if you're gonna be adding cellular, for example, if you wanna use it for a kid without an iPhone or for yourself, the price only goes up by $50 compared to the Series 11 that goes up by $100. So that makes the Series 11 with cellular $200 more expensive, which is a big deal. Now, the Series 11 I have is just the aluminum one. You can also buy a titanium one for a lot more expensive. I just won't be covering that one. That also comes with a lot more scratch resistant glass, but we're gonna focus on the aluminum. Now, opening up the new Ultra 3, I have to say you can only get this in two colors, just like the SE3, where the Series 11, you have a bunch of different options, which is nice. And this Apple Watch, I've been using the older ones since they came out, and it really is an interesting choice because there are some downsides with this most expensive watch. Even though we have these super insanely lightweight bands that are available for it, it still weighs quite a bit. And if you're somebody that's going to want to do sleep tracking with your Apple Watch, the Ultras are the only ones that even after multiple years, I cannot get used to sleeping with this. The Series 11 or the SE3 is dramatically more comfortable. Another downside is if you're gonna get the black Ultra 3, this one is Ben's, it is a fingerprint magnet with this dark titanium compared to the natural one, so be aware of that. And look at the thickness differences right here between the watches. The Ultra is really, really thick. The Series 11 is actually slightly thinner than the SE3, and you can notice that, especially with the Ultra on your wrist. And then here you guys can actually see the size differences. The Series 11 has a slightly smaller screen than the Ultra, but the footprint is noticeably smaller. And now I have to touch on the build quality and durability. You guys can see on the SE3 we have a plastic bottom there compared to all aluminum on the Series 11, and we have ceramic on the Ultra. And I have to say, with my Ultra, I've had this one for 2 years, I've smacked it against walls, against concrete, and it still looks like new. The screen is flat, so it's more protected. There's been some crazy videos online with testing. So if you know you're in construction, you're gonna be very hard on it, the Ultra is the one that is really nice. Now you guys can also see a difference in sensors. The more expensive ones have the same array compared to the SE3. So on the SE3, you are gonna be missing the ECG, the blood oxygen, the hypertension that is just added. You're also not gonna get any of the diving options with water depth and temperature, if that matters for you. And I have to mention things like blood oxygen, if you're setting it up for a kid, well, those are disabled by Apple. Same thing with the double tap feature, so that might not even matter. Now, if you're really gonna push your watch, the Ultra has double the water resistance compared to the other two. Your water depth is up to 40 meters. You can also scuba dive with it and do high-speed water sports. The whole design is made to be an Ultra watch. And here you guys can see them on my wrist. The Ultra kind of dwarfs the other two, which are more comfortable. But as far as the screen or display sizes, it is very visible that the SE3 is quite a bit smaller. The display doesn't curve around the edge like the Series 11 does. And the Ultra 3 looks the largest. It's also completely flat. So this one is 49 millimeter compared to 46. and 44. Now before the next difference, these are the brand new Snap Duo watch bands from our sponsor MOFT. You probably heard of MOFT because of their viral MagSafe wallet. I bought one myself years ago. It was amazing, and then we started working with them. They also have great cases like their MOFT vegan leather case and a bunch of different accessories, but for this video, I want to focus on MOFT's genius new Snap Duo watch band. They combine powerful magnets inside of this flexible silicone band, making it by far the most convenient band I've ever used in terms of quickly putting it on, taking it off, and making size adjustments. The magnetic strength is incredibly strong. And you guys notice that each band is a dual color band with a no-brainer connection, allowing you to connect it any way. Just choose a side and connect, giving you 4 different looks with each watch band, which makes it fun and easy to mix and match color combos on different days. And the material is super soft. It's a pebbled silicone, giving you all day comfort. There are 5 different duo color bands to choose from, and then of course you can mix and match them. So go ahead and order the Snap Duo watch band from MOFT today using the links down below. Now amazingly, this year all 3 have always on displays. The SE3 added that, and that is awesome. So when we go ahead and turn these off, you could still see what time it is without having to turn on the display. We also have a difference in display brightness. We have 1,000 nits, 2,000 nits, and 3,000 nits, which you mostly can use outside. Here, the difference doesn't matter that much, but the display tech on the more expensive ones are a little bit more updated. So if I look from the side, the viewing angles are better on the LTPO3 displays compared to the original, and they actually get dimmer, only 1 nit in the darkness. Now, I want to cover some similarities that are also amazing between these, including the cheap SE3. All 3 can play back media through the built-in speaker, which is awesome, and all 3 have the brand new S10 chip. In the past, the SE was always multiple generations behind, but not anymore. That also means that all these have 64 gigabytes of storage, and they all have the new 5G modem that has been updated. Last year, the Series 2, or the Ultra 2, was actually behind. Now, all of them are the same, and that is actually very important. Don't think you need 5G for super fast downloads. It's gonna give you better reception, and if you're buying one of these to use it without your phone, or for example, for my kids, I wanna make sure they actually have a signal. In the past, sometimes they wouldn't when my phone would have signal, and that also greatly impacts the battery life. It's gonna be more efficient. Now, we do have some differences. We have 18 hours on the SE3 compared to 24 hours for the first time Apple gave them a better rating, and then 72 on the Ultra 3, which is incredible. So I got the Ultra, the original one, just for battery life. If you're somebody that does high-end sports or you're gonna hike all day, it's going to last. And another thing you have to remember is if you're gonna have an Apple Watch for many years, my Series 2 is at 90% battery after degradation, and it still lasts all day. So that could be a big deal. Now the battery life is also important because if you're buying this for somebody without a phone like your kid, it's gonna be on cellular way more often and the battery drains quicker. So that's why I would not recommend getting an older Series 10 or SE2. Now with that, we have a difference in charging. Only the Series 11 could charge up to 80% in just 30 minutes. The other 2 watches, because they're either slower or have a bigger battery, take 45 minutes. Now the last limitations on the SE3 is that it doesn't have an ultra wideband chip, so even though it could make a sound on your phone to help you find it, it won't guide you to it like the other phones will. It also doesn't support 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which I think that part is not that big of a deal. And with the Series 3 update, it brings a ton of features to this watch. And before I give you guys my overall advice, I'll just point out that the Ultra has that action button. That could be useful. You can change what it does. And then of course it has this bigger crown with a little bit of guard and the overall rugged look, dual GPS, all that stuff for the professional athletes. So with all those differences covered, which one should you buy? Well, unlike last year, I think that if this is gonna be your first watch, you should get the Apple Watch Series 3. It has never been this good of a value. It's always been the cheapest, but it had a ton of limitations. Old chips, it's slow, dictation could be worse, the battery life was worse, didn't have the always-on display. Now, all those things are fixed. It's an absolutely amazing watch. And then with that, if you're gonna get Apple Care, it's only $299 a month for it compared to $5 or $6 a month. It just makes it such a bargain deal while being a watch that is amazing for almost everything. The Series 11 is an awesome watch, especially for sleep tracking, for comfort, for looks. And the Ultra, I mean, this watch is made for athletes. And unless you're somebody like me and you want multiple days of battery life and you want the cellular connectivity if you're going out for long hikes, things like that, it really is an overkill watch. And now that we have the new chip, the new more efficient modem, better battery life, I think the Series 11 is a great watch for most people that have already had an older watch you're upgrading. You have the money to get it. It's gonna do an amazing job. So unless you absolutely know that you need the most rugged with all those crazy features, I would skip the Ultra, go for the Series 11, and if you're going between these two, you're not sure, just go with the SE3. You really can't beat the value. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of those videos right over there, the Spin Max, and I'll see you in the next one.